Lesson 1 New Beginnings by Vibhuti Bhushan Bandyopadhyay. Vibhuti Bhushan Bandyopadhyay lived from the year 1894 to 1950. He was one of the leading writers of modern Bengali English. His works reflects not only the poverty but also the beauty associated with rural Bengal. His best known work is the autobiographical novel Panther Panchali, that is, The Song of the Road. He was awarded the Ravindra Puraskar in the year 1951. Well, students, leaving home is definitely an emotional thing to do. It is not easy. There are so many memories that you shall be leaving behind. Leaving your parents, siblings, friends, your own room. It's an overwhelming thing, but at the same time, it's a journey towards new adventures and new beginnings. Students, would your parents worry if you plan to move out of your city for higher studies? This extract is taken from the Bengali novel Aparajito, that is, The Unvanquished in English. Appu is a teenager who lives with his widowed mother in the village of Manasapota. They are very poor, but luck comes Appu's way when he is given a chance to study in a big city. However, it means leaving his mother behind. The main characters in this lesson are Appu and Sarbajaya, that is Appu's mother. Now, children, let's understand the lesson. One morning, as Appu got ready to go to school, he discovered to his surprise that his mother had not made his breakfast.
You cannot go to school today, Appu, she said. The Sarkars want you for a special puja. They sent a message yesterday. What? And you said yes? No, Ma, I cannot go about doing pujas anymore. People might want pujas done every day. Be expected to miss school that often? Listen to me, Appu, Sarbajaya pleaded. It isn't just the Sarkars. All the neighbors are also getting the same puja done. Everyone wants you. If you go, you'll be able to at least bring back a large basket of rice. Please, Appu, do this for me. Appu paid no attention. In the end, he left without having breakfast. Sarbajaya could feel her eyes fill with tears as she watched him go. She could never have imagined Appu would pay so little heed to her wishes. Appu reached his school to find that the headmaster, Phani Babu, was looking for him. Come in, Appu, he invited. Your marks arrived this morning from the office of the inspector. Congratulations, my boy. You stood first in the entire district. I'm so glad you took the board exams. Now, they say they'll give you a scholarship, 5 rupees a month, if you go in for further studies. You'll do that, won't you? Before Appu could reply, his maths teacher entered the room. Of course he will. The maths teacher was most emphatic. He's such a bright boy. The whole school is proud of him. You needn't think any more about it, sir. Send the application right away. We all want him to go. Heavens, I worked so hard to get him to understand fractions. Appu was still finding it hard to take it in. He stared speechlessly at the headmaster. Phani Babu pulled out an application form, scribbled a few lines on it, and offered it to Appu. Sign your name here, he said, pointing. I have told them you are prepared for higher studies. I will send it off immediately. That afternoon, Appu was allowed to leave the school much earlier than usual. As he made his way back through the green fields still full of bright sunshine, Appu thought constantly of his mother. He had left her looking very sad this morning. He knew how much pain he had caused her. Everywhere he looked, in the shadows under the banyan trees, in the call of the invisible dove hidden behind shawl leaves, he could feel her pain.
Sarbajaya had not eaten all day. How could she feed herself when her son had left without eating a morsel? But the Sarkars had sent a lot of prasad. Sarbajaya gave it to Appu when he got back from school. Still feeling restless, Apu ate quickly and went out again for a walk. The fields that bordered the village were lying empty. The crops had been removed. Apu stared at their emptiness and began dreaming again. He had won a scholarship. Even now he could hardly believe it, but his mother did not know yet. The bright red sky, stretching over the fields for as far as his eyes could see, held such mystery, such promise for the future. Apu shivered with a strange thrill, but what was his mother going to say? Was she still hurt? How was he going to tell her? The empty fields and the golden clouds on the horizon all seemed tinged with sadness. The shadows and the gathering dusk spoke of his sorrows. Apu turned to go back home. An oil lamp flickered on the veranda as Apu came in. Sarbajaya was waiting for him. "There is some fruit left," she said, peeling a banana for him. "Everyone missed you today, Apu. The Sarkar sent someone to fetch you, but I had to say you had gone to school. If you did only—" "Ma," Apu said finally, "I am glad I did not go off to do their puja. Something happened at school today. The headmaster called me and said I had won a scholarship. I came first in the whole district. If if I now join a high school, I'll get 5 rupees a month. But what would mean going away to a boarding school?" Instantly Sarbajaya's face went pale. She stared at Apu in silence for several moments. Then she said slowly, "What did you tell them?" "Nothing. It's just that if I don't study any further, I don't get the money. If I do, those 5 rupees will take care of my expenses in the boarding school. I won't have to pay any tuition fees. They'll treat me as a free student." Sarbajaya could find nothing to say. What Apu had just told her made perfect sense. If a child won a scholarship and wanted to make good use of it, how could a parent stop him? Nowhere on earth could anyone ever be justified in pulling the child back from the road to success and keeping him home. There was no way she could ward off the inevitable. All she could do was watch helplessly as all her own dreams and plans for their future rose and disappeared like morning mist. About a month later, the news of Apu's scholarship was confirmed by a report in the press. Sarbajaya, now resigned to her fate, began making preparations for her son's departure. Apu had never lived anywhere on his own. He was totally inexperienced, completely alone. Who would take care of his needs, provide what was needed even before he could ask for it? Sarbajaya began packing everything she thought was necessary. 2 kanthas, one to spread on his bed, the other to cover himself with. A glass, a bottle of homemade ghee, a bag of coconut sweets, a bottle of coconut oil, a small bronze bowl with a flowery pattern round its rim with which Apu liked drinking his milk, and a dozen other little objects. She put a clean case on his pillow, and while she went about getting more things to pack, she spoke constantly. Until the last day, Sarbajaya had been secretly hoping against hope that somehow Apu would change his mind. But he appeared to have no hesitation at all in leaving his old life behind, crushing under his feet what she herself had built up with such patience and perseverance to ensure her son had a reasonably secure future. Why did the unknown hold such attraction for him? Where was he going to go? Sarbajaya's love for his son blinded her to one simple fact. Apu had heard the call of the outside world. Anyone who answered that call had a heavy price to pay. Never would the safe confines of home be adequate for him. Apu left the next morning. "You'll come back home as soon as you can, won't you?" she asked anxiously. "There's Itu Puja coming up. Surely your school will close for that. Apu laughed. Hetu Puja? No, ma. That is a big district school. They won't close for something silly like Itu Puja. I won't come before the summer holidays. With a superhuman effort, Sarvajaya stopped her eyes from brimming over. Shedding tears at the time of departure might bring bad luck for her son. Apu touched her feet, slung his heavy bundle over one shoulder, and went out. It was a cool, crisp morning in December. The previous day had been grey, but today a golden sun glowed through broken clouds, touching the top branches of a mango tree. Its leaves glittered, wildflowers peeped from green bushes under bamboo groves, signaling on this beautiful morning the colorful dreams of a bright future.